Greetings, Nick with Sweetwater here. I'm in Studio A with Mr. Ryan Bruce, better known to you YouTube fanatics as the one, the only Fluff from Riffs, Beards and Gear. And he's been here all week with Mr. Uncle Ben Eller, shooting some fine content, and he's been gracious enough to talk to my stupid self, because I want to pick this man's brain about how he gets where he got.
Dude, you're a legend. I can't believe I'm even sitting here talking to you. Serious.
It's leg with a dash end, not legend.
You know what? No. I'm a huge fan of yours, and the things that you've done and the stories you have told are just incredible. And hearing some of the stuff that has yet to come out with you and Ben is, I don't know, everyone should be excited for all that kind of stuff, because that stuff is amazing. But thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here. It's been we just talked to the guys in the studio. It's been a pleasure having you guys here, because you're professional nice guys who give a damn. What a concept.
You know, it's hard not to give a damn when you're at a place like this. This is Candyland.
Right, it is.
Look at where we're at. It's amazing here.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is like the Marshall booth with other brands at NAMM back in the good old days.
Yeah, it's Candyland.
But, so, you are unique within the YouTube world, because one of the things I hear from cynics, and dare I say from people who are jealous of the success people like yourself have, because you have you're fast approaching 400,000 subscribers. Congratulations on that, and well deserved.
Thank you.
Is they go, well, you know, these YouTube guys, you know, can they play standing up? You know, that's one of the, which is kind of funny, but you were in Rest Repose and you're now in Dragged Under, and ladies and gentlemen, we're talking over 10 million Spotify downloads or streams. They've just toured with, you just toured with Beartooth, right?
Beartooth, Wage War, and before that we were out with The Used.
Great band as well.
And I just, we really do it. And we play standing up.
Yeah. So this man is walking his talk, as does Mr. Eller. So serious guys. These are not these aren't scratching the surface guys. These are the real deal. So
thank you.
What on earth inspired or motivated you to go from stage to this?
I don't know. I think I wanted to document things, and I was actually I toured as a kid, and then did the whole family thing, and I did the office job.
Right.
I worked at Boeing, and then all of that kind of fell apart, and I thought I should do the band thing again.
Right.
So for me, this is my second breath of life, really, because I only started doing this in this capacity in 2015.
I was going to ask you, I'd figured around 2015.
I got real serious about it. Before that, I was still doing videos, but it was super, super casual, just like whenever I had time, I was on a lunch break or something like that. So.
Now, what does it take? Because I'm sure a lot of people, because the music industry's changed. I had a great conversation with Zach recently. He said, you know, the unfortunate thing for modern day bands is you will never get a double platinum record plaque for your wall.
No.
And they don't do Spotify things like that yet anyway. So the world's changed. Like, people don't buy records anymore. They stream the stuff. So you're making a living not only on the stage, but this is part of what you do. And
very much.
At the risk of being obsequious, my favorite big word of all time, I applaud you, because anyone that can make a living doing what they love, be it teaching, and you're teaching, by the way, in my opinion, I really like your channel because you're a teacher and you actually say you want to learn and learn with your viewers in your retake of your intro video. And I really,
thank you.
That resonated with me, because that's how I approach things. It's like, you can write what I know about this industry on the head of a pin with a Sharpie. So if I can learn more and play a little bit of what I know forward, then it's kind of cool.
Agree. I don't know. I never thought I was a teacher, but when you put it that way, okay, I'll take that. That's cool. It's just, I don't know. It's always a hang. I want my channel to be a hang, and like we're hanging right now. Like I want it to be as close to that as possible, and not and be a less formal thing. That was always my goal with the channel. So
well, I would say you've hit said goal.
Thank you. It's been cool.
My question though is that even though you have the hang vibe, it's clearly that you're not winging it. That how much pre-prep do you do, at least mentally?
So mentally, I have to really get in the zone. And you talked about this, like even just doing this video, like you gotta have to get in the mindset. But what I'll do is maybe I'll go get a cup of coffee, I'll get a bite to eat or something like that in the morning, and I will sit there and mentally kind of picture what I want the video to look like at the end result. And then I kind of work backwards on how do I get to that. So I'll think about the actual, what I call beauty shots.
Right.
Slow pan, left to right or right to left. And then I will boil that down even further, and I will write down on an iPad the talking points, the main talking points I want to hit, but I do not rehearse, and I do not have a teleprompter, and I just simply thread the needle to hit those points on the fly. And I usually I wouldn't take everything now. It's taken a decade to do that, though.
Right. So you reverse engineer effectively. You see the end result and you go, okay, I want to get there. How the hell do I get there?
Exactly.
Brilliant.
That's all I do.
I love the way you have a thread, because that's how I've always done stuff. I always have what I call my security blanket. Right now it's just off screen. It's just my key points of things I hope to hit, because I know when I'm talking to someone like this, I'll get excited about stuff because I enjoy what I do and they pay me. Thank you, Sweetwater. But I'll get carried away and I might miss some key points. And
I do the same.
I'm so tired of at the end going, that was great. Oh, darn it, I missed that point that I really
How did I miss that?
Yeah.
I do that too, and it's so frustrating. I have gotten as far as uploading, gotten videos uploaded, and then realizing, oh, I was pronouncing the name wrong the whole time. Or that's so embarrassing. Like, an amp company would be like, that's not how you pronounce that. I'm like, of course it's not, and I have to delete it and just start over.
Yeah, then paranoia sets in.
Dude, I know, that's the worst.
How do you say that again?
Dude, some of these company names, I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry.
Some of these product names, yeah.
They're tough.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, whatever.
So, the thing is, like, being a YouTuber, you are, does the word influencer weigh heavily on you, or do you just throw away term?
No, I always look at all of this as a big football team, as it were, a sports team. Sometimes we have quarterbacks.
Right.
But that doesn't mean the running back is any less important, or the coach, or the assistant trainer. Like, we're all just music nerds, and some of us get cooler opportunities than other, but like, if you stay on that team, that means you're actually, probably tenacious, you're on time, and you do what you say you're gonna do.
Right.
So, I don't know, it's all the same. Like, we're the same. Everyone here is just on the same team in my mind.
No, I hear you. I liked what you just said about being tenacious, because we were having a discussion in the canteen a couple of days ago, and you said something that resonated with me again. You said it's not about being the best, it's actually being there all the time. And that's, people were saying that, you got lucky. And it's like, yeah, I did, but I was in enough. I said to you, there's a saying that says, you've got to be in the right place at the right time. My twist on that is you've got to be in enough places, enough times with the right preparation that when that right time comes, you're actually there. And you've clearly done that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I read this thing from, it was Henry Rollins, of all people, back in the 90s. It was an old interview that I did, I think, with Dennis Miller. And he said, I'm not going to be the best singer. I'm not going to be the most dialed in the studio when I'm recording my takes. However, I will be to that studio on time. I will put in all of the effort that I possibly can while I'm there. And you can depend on me. Right. And those are the qualities that I bring to anything that I'm doing. I thought, that's really all it is. It's not about being the best, because when you're a kid reading Guitar World magazine or something like that, you think, I'll never be as good as Steve Vai or something like that. But like, no, Steve Vai is just on time and reliable, and people can count on him. That's where how he got to where he is now, in addition to being, having God's hands on guitar.
Plus he works his backside off as well, practice.
These guys work so hard, and it's so easy, especially in like social media, in the day of social media, because you're seeing the greatest hits of everyone on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. You're seeing what people want you to see.
Yeah, this is what I am really, honestly.
Right. You're not seeing Steve Vai help his tech haul a bunch of amp cabs or something like that. I'm sure he doesn't do that anymore. But all throughout the years, of course they're not going to let you see him driving in his car to the studio at 7 a.m. for load in or something like that. Like, you're never going to see that stuff. So
yeah, it's funny because talking about, I love Henry Rollins, by the way. I kind of put him up there with Joe Rogan. I call them badass motivational speakers, because they are. Like, the iron doesn't lie is one of his sayings. And
I love that.
He's just great. And another guy I listen to a lot is there's a guy called Darren Hardy and Tony Robbins. And one of the two guys said, they were talking about luck and how a lot of people will so, oh, he's just got a better gene pool than, it's like, no, he's worked harder than you. There was a great quote from Jack Nicklaus where he said, yeah, I've been luckier, but the funny thing is I found the harder I practice and the harder I work, the luckier I get. There's a message in
love
that.
that.
Isn't that cool?
I love that. Wow, that's really motivational.
It is actually, because it means you can do it, kids.
You literally can, though. But
You've got to do it.
having said that, I really do appreciate all of the lazy people of the world. I like those people because they allow me to be prosperous. So
No, you know what? That's another, going to quote Darren Hardy one more time, then get off. He says, you know, the good thing, this is hard to do, and I'm really grateful for that because most people are too lazy or too fearful to actually make the effort to do it.
that's exactly right, though.
Like, I could look like Bruce Lee, honestly, if I wanted to. I need to, but guess what? I guess I don't want to. And want's the key. You've got to want it. You've got to want it. But anyway, so back to the YouTube thing. What people don't realize, I've watched you work, and it's fascinating because it's not just the content. You've got to light it, capture it, not just visually, but sonically.
Yeah.
Is that a learning curve that you're still on?
Oh my God, yeah.
That was a stupid question, of course.
God,
it is, yeah.
dude. So for the longest time, I don't know. I always do this thing where I think I'm so stubborn in every facet of my life. I always think, well, I don't need that. And so, you know, you get these professional photographers telling you, nope, you need these really nice lights, and it's the lighting that's going to make your shot look great. It's not the camera. That's not true. It's the camera, right? So it's only been in the last like year or two where I've actually invested like in some really nice lights, and shockingly, my videos look better. Isn't that amazing? I don't know. Like I'm so stubborn. I can't get out of my own way sometimes. But
no, I think that's the human condition.
Yeah, it really is. But learning how things interact with the environment is such a steep learning curve. I mean, I've been doing this a decade now, and I am still learning. Like, this is all light. Camera and visual, anything is light.
Right.
Just as all this stuff is sound, and it's just such a sensory thing, and it's so difficult. It's so difficult to learn to do well. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. I feel like
I think 400,000 people agree with you, my friend.
Well, I mean, it's taken 10 years, but like, and you guys, bless you guys actually have some really nice lights in here, and I've worked with far less and had, you know, I'll fix it in post kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, to answer your question, I'm always still learning and trying to better myself.
And that's I learned it the hard way because when the pandemic hit and we had the lockdown, I did some videos at home, and I ended up using like lights from the bedroom, and it still kind of sucked. But after a while, I got it.
Yes,
I got it as good as I could get it, and then you go,
wow, this is really a lot harder than I thought it was. And then you've got to think about camera angles and
shadows, noise, and
it not being boring and, you know, cutting, all that sort of stuff. And it's like, wow, that's why it's called production, pre and post.
Yes, but I love that process. The only reason, honestly, big secret, the only reason I still do YouTube videos is I love the editing process. I love it.
Well, that kind of helps though, because if you don't do it. Because it's a lot of work, man.
A lot of my friends absolutely would rather get punched in the face repeatedly than edit video.
Yeah, they'd rather be the front of that Pantera album than make a YouTube video.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So what was your pivot point? Did you see something? What made you want to go, I'm going to do this?
Well, it started with, I was looking for the differences between an Audix i5 and an SM57 microphone.
Right.
Being the internet forums, these guys were arguing on my post about the differences, but none of them owned both of the microphones. It was all theoretical arguing.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, you have one and you have one, but you guys are both arguing about how they both sound and compare to each other? Like, that's ridiculous. So I bought both of them, and I made a small clip on YouTube and I basically did the same track. I played the same track twice and just switched between them in post in the editing, and it got 100 views. And I thought, I don't even know 100 people. I'm famous now.
But that's the thing, people like. But you went from 100, so that curve from, I'm going to say it again, from 100 to 400,000. Is epic. But that didn't take 5 minutes. How long? I mean, how can? So we talked about commitment before. how important are the following three things? Consistency, cadence, and quality.
Consistency is the most important thing. Quality actually doesn't matter as much as most people think. If you're going to choose one or the other, have better audio.
Right.
Crappy video, it doesn't really matter if the audio is good.
Right.
Regular uploading is the key. That is the universal thing, whatever that is for you and whatever it is for anybody. If it can be 1 week, once a week, once a month.
Right.
I know most creators at the minimum are once a month.
Right.
I'm doing 3, 4, 5 times a week.
I know your cadence is.
I know I'm exhausted. I need a nap. But
the thing is, like, do you always do it? Like, if you're doing a particular topic, like, say, if it's mics or something, or a riff or something, do you always do it at the same time on the same day? Is that cadence important, or is it just the keeping it once a week?
No, I'm always like, so for a particular day, I will, I'm having a real good day, I will shoot and edit and upload 3 videos a day.
Good God, man.
And that's the mixed tune. That's me tracking the tune. Now, I have to have some really, really good coffee. That's not a typical day. But my own personal goal is to get a video done a day.
Wow.
And I always have stuff to do. I always have incoming stuff. So at any given time, I have about a dozen videos uploaded and ready to go on my channel.
Cool.
So there is a buffer.
So, and do you think having a buffer's in, because that was going to be my next question, having a buffer so if you get sick or something, you can keep that? Because it's kind of like a train. Like, to me, it seems like, once that momentum starts, it's easier to keep it going. But if you stop, you're back to square one.
If anything happens, I always have to have a little bank of videos, no matter what they are. Because sometimes you just don't feel like, I don't know, sometimes you don't feel creative.
Right.
Sometimes I used to fight that a lot. Like, I have to do something, but then the product and the video isn't as good as it could have been. If I just waited a day just to rest up and maybe switch gears and, I don't know, go do something else. So I try not to force it now.
Right.
I don't know, that just comes with time and learning.
And you've kind of touched on this already, but you're thinking about this an inordinate amount of time, or I would say a healthy amount of time. So is it part of your, because you've always got to be creative, whether you are a content creator, so creators in the word, so you have to make content that's creative. You've got to go, this is a new thing and I like to do this, because if you're not into it, you can't sell it. It's like they say with a song, if you don't think a song's great that you've written, drop it. Because if you think it's just okay, ditch it.
The easiest thing in the world is just to not do it.
Yeah.
So for me, I am always thinking about that, which drives my lady insane, by the way, because we'll be sitting on the couch watching something. She'll go, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was just thinking of this cool thing I could do with the camera if I can."
I'm glad it's not just me.
And then it would be cool. She's like, "Oh my God,
get a life, yeah."
Well, we're not even home. Like, what are you? So like,
but it's the new James Bond movie. Watch it.
Right. I'm always thinking about how to do cool stuff. I love that process. I love setting up the lights and like figuring out a camera angle. Like that's the payoff for me.
Right.
It's not putting the thing out.
It's all part of the.
Yeah. It's the baking.
Yeah.
As it were.
So so you get the contents, then you got to bake it properly.
That's right. And then once people enjoy it, it's time to do it all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're only as good as your last cake.
That's right. Serious. We're baking cakes here, people.
Well, it's funny. One of my favorites when I was a kid, Not Fragile by the Bachman Turner Overdrive album, there was a song called Rock Is My Life, This Is My Song, and there's a great line in it that says that I'm only as good as my last record, I know that someday I'll be gone. Do you view that with regards to your videos to a point?
You know what? I do think about, I'm getting older, like I do think about like, okay, when I'm gone,
This is my legacy.
This is my legacy, which is cool because these videos, the cool thing about these videos, as opposed to like an actual TV commercial or something like that, is these are on the internet forever.
Yeah, you can't erase zeros and ones.
No.
So be careful when you post bad things about people. They can find you, and I know people who've had that. Yeah.
Yes, they can. But it's cool for me to like, maybe my great grandchildren or something like that will watch the videos, like, because we've never done that as a society before. We haven't gotten that far yet. This is still a new thing.
Oh, it is.
It's still the Wild West. So like, it's the same thing as like, when kids grow up now, how would you feel if your entire life was already on Facebook by the time you signed up for your Facebook account at 16 years old? Your baby pictures.
Right. Yeah.
That's a weird thing for me to think about.
Yeah. See, like my wife will not go on. I never post pictures of my wife because she doesn't want that. She doesn't want people going, "Oh, you were married to that guy."
Well, but I get it though.
No, I do too.
She wants to be in control of.
I totally get it.
Yeah, and these are the things I think about when I post these videos, because I'm like, my daughter. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and she has friends that watch my stuff, and like, she's just like, you're just dad to me. Like, I don't know.
That's an interesting. It's a mind game almost to a point.
Yes, it really is.
So 2 more questions, my friend. Number 1 is progress. You're clearly a perfectionist, but at what point do you go, I've got to move on to the next cake? Because you could spend your whole life making the perfect cake that no one will eat because you never finish it.
It is of no value if the thing you're working on is never seen.
Perfectly put, man.
The whole point of any of this, music, video, anything, you can write. So we've done this before as a band, writing a record. We just got done writing and recording our second album, and there are some things that's like, okay, guys, like it could be the greatest song ever, but if no one hears it, then it's not a song at all.
Yeah, that's very well put.
So at some point, you do have to cut the reins on some stuff. It's rare that I find myself in a tailspin like that, but there are some larger projects where it's going to be what it is, and it's going to live out in the world forever, and I just got to let it go.
So my second to last question is, the one thing that I found really endearing about your visit, apart from getting to know you, is the respect and camaraderie, the mutual respect and camaraderie that yourself and Ben had together. Is that one of the things I love about I've lived in the metal world. I've been lucky enough to live in the metal world for my entire life.
Yeah.
And the one thing I love about it is it unifies you. It puts you in a gang. There's no one's excluded. Like, I might not like your type of metal, but you're a metal guy, so you're cool, and vice versa. Do you find that true of the YouTuber community?
Kind of. The YouTuber community is extremely diverse, but if it's something like if it's a musician, like, I don't think I would have that same camaraderie with like a cooking show YouTuber.
Right. No.
You know what I mean?
Even though you make cakes, yeah.
But yeah, I make cakes, but video cakes, and But with Ben, I think that's a common thing, like with his buddy Andy Wood.
Right.
I met him for the first time. We were instantly best buds. And like, there is an element of that gang element that you described perfectly. I love that. Everyone wants to feel included in their own gang. Like, that's cool. And I think me and Ben's relationship is indicative of a lot of YouTubers, but there's also, of course, like anything, there's also the opposite.
Right.
But at least for me and Ben, it's about lifting each other up and supporting each other, because we do vastly different things. So there's always room for the best on the top.
And I love the fact that it was a supportive role, never a sort of.
My time. How much am I gonna?
Yeah, exactly. No, and I really enjoyed that. So last question, my friend, and this is for you out there who are thinking, the music industry, I'd like to make a living out of it. I could move to Indiana, work for Sweetwater maybe, or I could be in a band, and I encourage you to do so, because at the end of the day, writing a song and playing it to yourself, not playing with other people, means nothing to me.
Agree.
It's better than nothing, but if you play with other people, it's magic.
Agree.
Because you get that community thing. And then if just two people come to your show and they like it, you'll feel like you're Dave Grohl.
That's the greatest feeling ever.
And it's not Madison Square Gardens. It can be 50 people in a bar in Podunk.
I love those shows.
Those are the best, man.
I love those shows.
But anyway, so what would your advice be to someone watching this going, I'd like to be following some of Fluff's footprints? What would you say?
Do what you like. Make me believe you. And I think that's the biggest thing that people miss, is they'll do content stuff, whether it's music related, cooking related, whatever it is. If you find yourself doing it for any other reason other than yourself, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Ben asked me this last night. He's like, don't you ever worry like what people are going to think about whatever the video is about? I went, no. Like, I do this for me. Like, this is a totally selfish thing. I do this for me, and if you happen to like it, cool. But like, I do this for me first. But that's what people like is they want to see you believe in something, right? So
do you know what's fascinating? That I'm not going to get into this. You've almost mirrored with a different action and a slightly different twist what Yngwie Malmsteen's answer. He said you've got to be relentless and selfish.
You do.
And hope if other people like it, cool. But if you don't like it, forget it. You're wasting your time and selling yourself short.
You're the one who has to live with it at the end of the day.
Or not, yeah.
Or not.
Fluff, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
To be continued, folks, because we've only just scratched the surface.
I'll be fine.